how most people run up the lake. You know, they're not, say for example, if there's a sharp left-hand turn that you have to make, you know, on the lake, running up the lake, most people are gonna try to cut, you know, closer to the bank. They're not gonna run all the way to the other side of the lake and then make a turn. This is the blind spot I'm talking about, because when people are running down the lake, they ignore areas like that. So, for example, if you're running down the lake and the lake bends sharp to the left like that, everything on your left-hand side gets a lot of attention because you're closer to the bank. Everything on the opposite side of the lake, on the right-hand side, does not get much attention because it's too far over there. You're not swinging wide to get to those particular areas. So when you're running down a lake and you're looking to find good areas on the lake, keep this in mind. Keep in mind, where is the part of the lake when you're running down the lake that people are not going close to with their boat? And this is one of the first areas I look for. If you're running 20 miles up the lake and you have a lake that sort of bends and turns a little bit, there's literally dozens of areas on the opposite side of the lake from where you're fishing that do not get the attention as the side that you're on. Now, this is very important on places where you have larger boat ramps, because if you've got a lake that has a bunch of small boat ramps everywhere, it's not that big of a deal. But if you've got a large ramp where a lot of people launch out of, which most big lakes, that there's 2 or 3 major ramps on a lake, so keep that in mind. That's a really big deal. The next thing, an obvious spot that you need to look for in terms of visible bank fishing, are areas that don't have good looking structure on it. You know, areas that have like a lot of boat docks or a lot of lay down trees or a lot of good looking rocky banks or rocky points, they attract a lot of attention. But if you go to the lakes and you look at certain parts of the lake that don't have much to it, like say for example, they're a flatter bank that there's not much feature on it, there's not any cover on it, a lot of times those fish will gravitate towards those nothing looking banks simply to get away from the fishing pressure. There may not be as many fish there, but it's an overlooked area. And one of my favorite things to do is like what I call junk fishing a nothing looking spot. So let's say for example, you're running down the lake and you've got this nothing looking banks that you're running down, these banks that don't look very good. There's not much cover on them. They may be flatter. There may be like one lay down tree in the water, or there may be one boat dock, or there may be one little patch of lily pads or something like that, that most people are going to say, I'm not going to waste my time pulling over to fish one boat dock, or I'm